Welcome back everybody to Waadaplaya Concussion Sub Series. We are doing the series of IPL. The mega auction is coming up, which is this weekend, another 7 days away. Part of this series, we are going to look at what will Sunrisers do. They pretty much left out David Warner, Rashid Khan, which were big surprises, but some will say it was expected. But let's see what they should do. And we got Adi from San Fran, who's now in Hyderabad, probably for the auction, but we'll find out if he's there for the auction. And then Vishak and Sanjay Dubey with Enjoy Cricket t-shirt. Welcome, chaps. So Adi, let's start with you. Three retentions: Kane Williamson, Samad, and Umran Malik. Happy with those? A lot of investment on youngsters.
More or less happy with those. I'll say I'm happy with these three retentions because Umran and Samad come in at 4 crores because both of them haven't made their India debut yet. Like even if both of them you had put in the auction, they would have fetched in the range of 3 to 5 crores is what I would say. Maybe Umran a bit more. Like he was bowling at 150 plus, and it's very rare for an Indian fast bowler to bowl 150 plus. So maybe you could have gone for more. Happy with both of those. Kane Williamson, you need a captain. I don't think there's a better captain going around the world than Kane, right? So he's the only one who's. New Zealand has reached all three formats ICC tournament finals: World T20, World Test Championship, which they won, and then 2019 Cricket World Cup. So he's good. One concern I had was, is he worth 14 crores? Like, if you had put him in the auction, maybe 8 to 10, like 8 to 11, that was his max. But it's okay to overpay for him 14. But what I was surprised and disappointed was they didn't pay for Rashid. At least when the retentions were coming out, they said no. There were rumors again. We don't know how true these are. That apparently Rashid wanted the first retention slot, which would have given him 16 crores. And the second retention slot would go to Kane, which would have been 12 crores. But apparently, again, this is all hearsay. The management was, they wanted to give Kane the number 1 slot. So Rashid would have gotten 12 or something, like 14, 16, 12. And we saw that Rashid is getting paid 15 by Ahmedabad, right? So 3 crores for Rashid, man, you had to overpay. That was the one thing which was missing. David Warner, after they benched him, like all the fallout or like whatever, all the tweets which are flying around now, I don't think they would have ever retained him given all that background. Like else, I think they could have tried to retain Holder or Bairstow. But now, fingers crossed, hopefully they get them in the auction for a good price.
What will they go after? Will they buy back any of it, like Jason Roy or a Bairstow?
People might ask why I'm wearing India t-shirt on Sunrisers preview. So let me congratulate the Indian team on winning their 5th Under-19 World Cup before I start on this. Yeah, I think they might go all out for Jason Holder again. He has been their match winner. If you see whatever matches he has played, he has contributed with the bat as well and with the ball also. So he has been contributing actually pretty well. So I think they will go all out for him. They might go for one of Yuzi Chahal or Rahul Chahar because they have lost Rashid Khan now. So they might go for one of the spinners, or they might go for one good overseas spinner, Shahid Ahmed, who's a left-arm spinner. There's a new under-19 kid in the block, say Ibrahim Khalil Naveed, is somewhat similar to Rashid Khan, except that his leg spinner is a little bit slower, but has a good googly as well. I think they might look at these options as well if they want a good foreign leg spinner. But I think they will go all out for Chahal or Rahul Chahar. Try to build their squad more or less, but I'm pretty much surprised they paid 14 crores for Kane Williamson, where you could have got around only 7. You could have easily bought back at 7 to 8 crores in the auction. But still, as a T20 batter, I don't see himself as one guy who could win you a match alone. I think they could have easily retained Rashid Khan for around 16 crores and 15 or 16 crores and brought Kane Williamson back at around 8 crores in the auction. That could have been a more sensible move.
They always rely in that middle order to have like an Indian batter, Manish Pandey. So do you think somebody like a Suresh Raina still has a chance? Because one, he'll play 14 games and he comes with a reputation, and I fear that he'll go unsold. But would somebody like Sunrisers opt for him with the experience he has?
100% he'll get sold. There's absolutely no way he'll get unsold because we're looking at almost 100 Indian players, if not more, 770 odd Indian players, and including the bench. There's not that much quality around it. He's still, even if it's just a matter of retaining him for a brand value, he'll definitely go to someone like a Lucknow because he's sort of local for the state. For Sunrisers, I think the problem, I personally do not like any team having a foreign captain, because that just makes it so difficult, and that was the problem Sunrisers had. So in my personal opinion, they would have been better off trying to build a team rather than trying to get a captain as a retention, because one is his availability might be a question mark with England tests coming up, I don't know, and with further seasons as well. 14 crores definitely not worth 14 crores, and if they were desperate to have him as a captain, there is no other franchise who would have even gone beyond 8 or 9 or 10 crores for that matter. So they could have easily retained someone like Rashid Khan or even Jason Holder. Jason Holder is going to go for a lot of money, and potentially not would have a problem of being available for the IPL. So I think all in all, I'm not really sure about their retention. The younger players, yes, I understand it's cheaper for them to have the uncapped players retained, and both are good prospects. But it's not that Umran Malik is going to bank you with 4 overs, or Abdul Samad is certain for as much runs or whatnot. So it will be very interesting how much good players they can get out of the auction, because it will be very tricky with how the marquee players are listed. I think Punjab and Sunrisers have a great advantage with having more money, because with the first list of marquee players, they can push their prices up and either get better players later on with higher prices, or at least get decent players up front. So I think the people who are having a bigger purse will have a good advantage.
Mm-hmm. And Adi, how about players like for example, Bhuvi was playing a proper role for us for a long period of time. Will we look for somebody like Mohammad Shami, or will we go for Pat Cummins? Probably expensive. Rabada and Marquee, but somebody like an Hasaranga can do a holder kind of a job in the team.
Before all this, I'll make a larger comment, right? Like this season is a bit unique, where not all teams are going to be fully available. Sorry, not all players from all countries are going to be fully available, right? Like Kane Williamson, he might have to leave early for England test matches, so maybe he might miss 3 to 4 or like the playoffs or 2-3 matches there. And Kane Williamson is still injured. Like for all of this, he's not playing the test against South Africa, like, which is a big concern for me, honestly, because man, he's been injured for I think his last international game was in first test against India in India. So after that, he didn't play the second test. He was injured, and after that, he hasn't played a single match. So that's one concern. And even in general, right, like Australia-Pakistan tour is happening. I think South Africa is playing another tour before that. So a lot of players, like a lot of people are going to be not available for the whole duration. So, which actually might help the countries which are available for the whole duration, right? So think your West Indies, or think some specialized players, right? Some players from Australia might opt out of the Pakistan tour because of security reasons. We don't know. Like some players have openly said that. If that player has said that, hopefully that clarity is given before the auction. So then definitely I can see their auction price kind of getting a bump. And then the other dynamic here is most likely the IPL is going to be held near Mumbai, right? So in Mumbai, the 3 stadiums there, or maybe South Africa as like a backup plan. So teams need to be smart in picking players who are like power hitters and like very good death bowlers, because if matches are happening in Wankhede, boss, like matches will be 200 plus all the time, right? We've seen it multiple times before. So Sunrisers, historically what they do, they buy like really good bowlers, throat choke the other team to 160, 150, and then they chase it, right? That is much tougher in like Wankhede or DY Patil or like this Brabon Stadium. Like they are smaller, flatter pitches, there is dew and all this, right? In Hyderabad, big ground, less dew, all that is possible. So they have to think very strategically. But having said that, I agree. Like from a spinner standpoint, they would definitely look at like marquee spinners to replace Rashid. That could come in the form of Indian or foreigners. We also need to be mindful only 4 foreigners can play. So SRH did really well from 2016 to 2020. All 5 seasons they went to the playoffs. I think 2021, the biggest problem was the Indian core batting. Like Manish Pandey lost form. They bought Kedar Jadhav. He kind of was useless, to be honest. And then Vijay Shankar never hit form. Like nothing happened. Nothing clicked. None of their Indian batsmen clicked. So I think this season they will, they will learn from that mistake. And they will definitely go after high quality Indian batsmen, I feel, because that was the only thing which was like missing. And all the Indian batsmen's prices are going to be hyperinflated because it's not like last year, say now, like within 6 months, you got like 10 or 20 good Indian batsmen, right? It's like the same. And then now you have 2 more teams. So that means you need like 6 to 8 more Indian batsmen. And there's more money available because each team is getting 90 crores. So don't be surprised if not so great Indian batsmen go about 10 crores, right? Because it's just a matter of supply demand. Like teams are desperate and there's like a lot of money flowing around. So Manish Pandey might actually get more than 11 crores. Like his 11 crores, we were all scratching our heads. So think Manish Pandey, Ambati Raidu's, your Dinesh Karthik's. Fine, they are nowhere close to like the Indian team or like all this, but they're still dependable. Like even Raina, right? Like you never know. Like Lucknow is like, "Nahi, we want our UP ka son of soil." They will keep on going on a bidding war. You don't know. So I foresee like inflation in Indian batsmen or like all-rounder prices. A lot of inflation in their prices.
Inflation.
Suman, what do you think in terms of Indian players' retention? I think, in my personal opinion, between Punjab and Sunrisers, one of them will break the bank for Ishan Kishan. Both of them got wicket keepers. Both of them have got a lot of money. So I'm looking at something between 14 and 16, 17 crores because other franchises might be a bit more smarter and try and get the other players. And obviously the money factor is 3-4 crores in there after 20-25 players. Additional will mean a lot. So I think Sunrisers, if they can get Ishan Kishan, I think
nothing like it. He can open, like he can keep, and then Ishan Kishan and also Shreyas Iyer, right? Like he's captain material. RCB might, or at least it looks like they will have to break the bank for him. RCB or KKR, or because both of them don't have captaincy options so far. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel Surya Kumar Yadav probably will be one name they will go after.
No, I think he was retained by Mumbai.
Surya Kumar Yadav was with Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They retained him over Ishan Kishan, which was surprising. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So many of the good batsmen are already retained. Like Kohli is not there, Rohit's not there, Surya Kumar is not there, Shubman Gill is not there. So like Rishabh Pant is not there, like Jadeja is not there, Rituraj is not there. So like, basically 10 good Indian batsmen are already gone. Now everyone has money, then they'll jump on like the players.
I personally feel Sunrisers in the marquee players list, they will go hard for Shikhar Dhawan. Try to get back Shikhar Dhawan, make him open along with Kane Williamson. And he knows the coaching staff and them pretty well. I think he could well fit into the team and he could be one of the match winners. Shikhar Dhawan could be one player. So, considering his age, he could easily come around 7 to 8 crores and not go more than that. Because I think here, since this is a larger auction, this is a team auction where we will have to build your entire team and not a smaller auction where you're just filling up gaps. Teams have to be really smart and not go like all out for a single player where you exhaust half of your budget and then look around to like you cannot build a team. You don't want to be in that situation. So I think every team will have a cap for a certain player. And I think Mumbai will go all out for Ishan Kishan, but not more than 12 crores, as we already mentioned in the Mumbai preview. But if he goes beyond 12 crores, I think maybe around they'll have a 50 lakhs budget here and there. Just I'm saying, like this way, I think even every team will have a budget, like saying for each player, and they will go only up to that level. And if they go overboard, I think they'll struggle to build a team. But so considering that, Shikhar Dhawan might easily come in around 7 to 8 crores in the marquee list option, and I think he could be a very good buy for SRH.
What about somebody like Devdutt Padikkal, who will also be a hot cake? And will they look for Priyam Garg and Abhishek Sharma, who did extremely well? They actually won some games for Sunrisers.
They should be back. Like I feel like you don't know what prices players might get inflated to, right? Because both of them are not in the marquee list. You don't. There's too much uncertainty or too much dynamics, right? Because teams might have exhausted their purse or like they already got like what they wanted. But and I as I've said, like I'll like all the Indian players will have a good payday. That is one thing I can predict and with confidence. But yeah, like they will try to get them back. I don't think they will try to go back to your Manish Pande's or Kedar Jadav's or other folks whom they spent so much money on and like gave them so many matches. And players like Dhawan or again getting Bhuvi back at like a fair price, because remember they retained Bhuvi and Warner like historically, right? Like back then 2015-16 times. But now this time they did not, because Bhuvi is like not as consistent. He's getting injured like all the time. So he's again probably worth like 5 to 8 crores range because of his injury and all age as well. Like it's catching up with him. So
Okay.
yeah, it will be a good auction. And I'm kind of trusting the SRH management, right? Like they've done well in the auctions before, in the larger auctions like Moody and the Think Tank. Now they've got Lara and Spain as well. So hoping that they recreate the magic, because I strongly feel half of the IPL is like kind of one in the auction table,
Auction table.
because if you have like a very imbalanced team, it's very tough to get back. So again, IPL is like till like qualifying for the playoffs. After that, again, you have to perform in those matches. But that's why auctions are like the most interesting part for me. Like keep my eyes laser focused and like watch everything. So yeah,
Makes
looking
sense.
forward to SRH.
Makes sense. Last question in the fast bowling department. Somebody like a Trent Bolt and a Mohammad Shami, do they have a chance to fit into Sunrisers? Because we need somebody like that at the top to get some strike wickets.
I think anyone they can pick off. It'll have to be a case of their scouts identifying something, because Bhuvi came off the boil pretty quickly in the last couple of years. They might even think of maybe getting Jofra Archer for 2 or 3 crores for next couple of years. But yeah, any Indian talent they can think of. Sandeep Sharma did well for them. So I think it'll be a case of and it's almost certain, as per the sources, that the matches will be in Mumbai, Brabant, DY Patil and Wankhede, typically higher scoring grounds, apart from DY Patil maybe, and Pune. So yeah, I mean, it will be more of a batting department. They can't have the same bowling lineup they had in the past, obviously with Rashid going. So they'll have to. I mean, every team will struggle because there is not much international quality fast bowling talent out there. With 10 teams trying to get their teams built up, it will be very tricky. So this could be a very high scoring IPL.
So 68 crores. So 1 week away. So hopefully Sunrisers do well and don't go after Krishnappa Gautam and waste a lot of money like last time. We have a lot to prove because last season we almost got the wooden spoon. So looking forward for a positive IPL. Thank you, Adi, for making time. Bye, Shaq. Congratulations on the Under-19 World Cup win. And Sanjay Dubey, thanks for joining in. And we will see you on the other side of the show with another team preview.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.